Before you give up on her, I need you to pause for a moment and listen to this. Sometimes the heart tells you to walk away because it's tired, it's wounded, and it doesn't want to fight anymore. But the truth is, men often give up too quickly. Not because the woman isn't worth it, but because they don't understand the deeper layers of what's really happening. What if the problem isn't that she doesn't care? What if the problem is that you've misread her signals, her way of fears, her way of loving? Too many men confuse silence with rejection, distance with lack of affection, and emotional walls with lack of interest. And because they don't see what's happening beneath the surface, they quit. But what if walking away too soon means you never gave love the chance to truly unfold? What if the very moment you want to leave is the same moment she's strinally testing if your love is strong enough to stay? Women don't always express love the way men expect. Men tend to look for clarity, straightforwardness, and consistency. But for women, love is often wrapped in layers of emotion, insecurities, past experiences, and fears. Sometimes her silence is not a rejection. It's her trying to protect herself. Sometimes her distance isn't about you. It's about battles within her heart you don't even know exist. And when you give up too soon, you might just be walking away from someone who actually loves you, but doesn't know how to show it in the way you want her to. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying you should tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or abuse. A man with dignity knows his limits. But there's a difference between a woman who doesn't value you and a woman who's scared to lose you, but doesn't know how to show up in the way you need. There's a difference between a woman who plays with your heart and one who's protecting her own heart from breaking again. And if you don't learn how to read that difference, you might give up on the wrong woman. Think about this for a moment. Has she ever looked at you like you're the only man in the world, but then pulled away days later without reason? Has she ever poured her soul into you one night, then acted cold and distant the next morning? If yes, that doesn't always mean she doesn't love you. Sometimes it means she's terrified of losing herself in the intensity of what she feels for you. And when a woman feels that kind of fear, she'll test you, she'll push you away, she'll withdraw just to see if you'll still fight for her. It's not because she doesn't love you. It's because she needs to know your love can stand through storms. But here's where most men get it wrong. Instead of standing in masculine strength, they react with anger, ego, or withdrawal. They say, fine, if she doesn't care, I'm done. And just like that, they abandon something that could have been powerful. Something that could have grown into the kind of love that changes a man's life forever. Listen carefully. Before you give up on her, ask yourself these questions. Did you really show her consistency? Did you create a space where she feels safe to be vulnerable? Did you make her feel that no matter how messy her emotions are, you're not going anywhere? Because if you didn't, then maybe her pulling away is not her rejecting you, but her mirroring your inconsistency. Women crave emotional safety. They don't fall deeply in love with words. They fall in love with how you make them feel when the world gets heavy. And here's the part no one wants to admit. Sometimes the reason she seems cold is because she's reflecting your energy. If you've been distracted, unavailable, will distant yourself, she will mirror that back. Women are emotional mirrors. They rarely pull away for no reason. If she's pulling back, maybe she's feeling the void of your absence, even while you're standing right next to her. That's why before you give up, you need to look inward. Are you truly showing up for her? Are you half present, expecting her to carry the relationship on her own? Now let's talk about patience. Modern dating cultists into belligerent, effortless, and places love should be effortless, cultless, and clear. from day one. But the truth is, real love is messy. It's full of tests, doubts, fears, and moments where you wonder if it's even worth it. But those who endure, those who stay long enough to see past the storm, discover something extraordinary on the other side. They discover a love that is raw, real, and unbreakable. And sometimes the only thing standing between you and that love is your ability to hold on just a little longer. Think of it like this. Every woman has walls. Some walls are built from childhood wounds, some from heartbreak, some from betrayal. And the higher those walls are, the stronger the man she's waiting for has to be. Not strong in aggression, but strong in patience, in consistency, in faith. If you give up the moment it gets hard, you prove to her that you were never the man who could break down those walls. But if you stay, if you show up, if you choose her, even when she's not easy to love, you might just unlock a love that will never let you go. Now, don't misunderstand me. Staying doesn't mean you chase endlessly or beg for scraps of affection. Staying doesn't mean you ignore your own needs and let yourself be drained. Staying means you hold your ground, you remain steady, and you let her see that her storms don't scare you, that her silence won't make you disappear, that her fears won't push you away. A woman who feels that kind of strength will eventually surrender her heart completely. But a man who gives up too soon will never know what that kind of surrender feels like. And let me tell you this, when a woman truly surrenders to a man, when she finally realizes he is safe, she will love him with a depth that can't be shaken. She will stand by him in ways no one else ever has. She will make him feel like the most powerful man alive, not because he forced her, but because he stayed long enough to earn her trust. That's why before you walk away, you need to ask yourself, am I leaving because she's not the one, or am I leaving because I'm tired of fighting? Because if it's the second, you might be walking away from the very love you've been searching for your whole life. So here's the truth. Love isn't always about grand gestures, flowers, or constant reassurance. Real love is proven in moments of doubt, silence, and distance. Real love is when you stay steady even when she's storming inside. Real love is when you choose her again and again, even when she's struggling to choose herself. And when she sees that, when she feels that, she won't just love you, she'll never forget you. Before you give up on her, I want you to pause and remember that sometimes the hardest battles produce the most beautiful victories, and sometimes the woman who tests you the most is the one will love you the deepest. But you'll never know unless you stay long enough to find out. This is Magnetic Mindset, and if you felt the weight of these words, if they spoke to you in ways you didn't expect, then this channel is where you belong. We talk about the real, the raw, and the unspoken truths about love and relationships. So don't just watch and leave. Subscribe to Magnetic Mindset today and join a community that understands what love really takes.